If you're watching this on replay, just fast forward 2-3 minutes and it'll get right into the content. Be sure to remember to get your free DeFi guide over at dailycryptobull.com. Only about 2% of people in crypto know how to use DeFi. Those that do are at a massive advantage. I show you the best places that I use, how I use them. I get double-digit yield on stablecoin, Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol. I show you how I do that for free. Go to dailycryptobull.com and get your free guide. Or be a loser that doesn't do that. And for the love of God, if you go get it, open it up and use it. Because I find that by far most people that get free stuff never even open it or look at it or use it. Don't be that pleb, that schmuck. Go get it, it's free. I'm gonna do tracking the metrics. If people don't open it and use it, I'm gonna get away with it free, I'm gonna make it paid. Why? Because when you pay for things, they pay attention. They pay more effort if they pay for something. Prove me wrong. All right, y'all. We got 10 people on here. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Let me know. Be sure to hit the like button if you're awesome. If you're a schmuck, don't hit the like button. If you're a total user taker, don't hit the like button. But if you're appreciative, if you're cool, if you're a respectable person, hit that like button. I don't know how you do it on this. I don't know if you swipe up or turn your phone sideways, but let's see some likes come in. Drop in the comments. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? Let me know. Antonio says hi. Fair says all good. Okay, good. We'll give it a minute or so here, a minute or two, and let people come in over from TikTok. I started the stream as usual over on TikTok, but I need to get the hell off that platform. I like this platform more. I'm tired of them putting a gun to my head and constantly threatening to permanently ban my account because I talk about crypto, which they label as frauds and scams. What up, Ranveer, Antonio, Fairs, Jordan, Wahayir? I'm sorry if I probably didn't say your name right, I'm sure. Linwood, what's up? Hey, look at that, 6 likes already, 16, 19 people on here. What's up, Jordan? Thoughts on XRP and HBAR? You're not gonna like it. I think you can make money in both of them, but they're not something that I would buy. I bought XRP 3 years ago. Sold it at about $2.70, and unless it has a 95% drawdown, I'll probably never buy it again. Even though I think it'll go to probably $10 this cycle. What, you don't want to make a 3X? If XRP does a 3X, it's going to be really easy for me to be in other things that do a 10 to 30X. I'd rather do that. What's up, Steve? And HBAR. I mean, who uses HBAR? Who's gonna use HBAR for real? I don't see it. So I just can't invest in everything. Got to be very picky. It's not for me. It's not for me. Even if the technology is good, tons of great technology dies. Like we use HTTP for the internet protocol. Do you think that's the best internet protocol that was ever made? No. But you know why? It's what we use. Because it was the first one to get large enough network effects, to get large enough adoption. Because then it becomes too painful to leave it and learn something new, even if it is better. For us to go through that process of learning something new, the payoff has to be massive. And the HTTP protocol, good enough. What should I be looking into? If you got to ask me, you're in danger, Jordan. Because that's for you to figure out. You should be looking into learning. You should be looking into education. You should be looking at how to read charts. Because like this over here, I read this. This is a language. Charts are a language. I'm not exaggerating. They are a language. And they're really, in their core, they are a visual representation of human behavior. That's what they are. They're not, most people think they're just random squibbles, because they don't want to take the time to learn the truth, which is it's a visual representation of human behavior in a specific market. And most markets tend to move together because humans tend to do the same things. If I feel good in the stock market as a human, well, I'm probably going to feel good in real estate. I'm probably going to feel good in Bitcoin, right? But if I feel bad in the stock market and it's going down, I'm probably going to be scared of everything. That's why everything goes up and down together for the most part. All right, y'all, we're on here, we're rolling. Let's see. because I haven't done that on TikTok yet, I'll pull up the XRP chart. I want to be very clear. In no way, shape, or form would I buy XRP, even though I think it's going to $10. All right, here it is, coming up here. What, it made a new all-time high, right? Barely, about 366, right? Came up here in what, December, January, to 331. Came down to, oh, that can't be right. It didn't go down to 11 cents. What fucking chart am I looking at? Went down to about, what? Wait, what am I looking at here? Oh, this is way back there. Oh, whoops, my bad. This is the monthly, not the daily. So on the monthly, we came up here, right, in January to 339, but as of recently, we came up to 366, okay? So made a new all-time high. Cool, that's good. Let me go to the daily here because I don't want to be looking at the monthly chart. Although with that being said, that monthly chart does say a lot. Actually, let's go back to that monthly chart. Maybe that's pretty useful for everybody. I mean, look at this, right? This was the 2017 bull market. This is when I got into crypto. XRP, almost 8 years ago, 7.5 years ago, got to $3.31, and it took 7 years for it to make a new all-time high. You understand? I mean, it would have made a new all-time here, but the SEC came in, slapped a lawsuit on it, and really muted the hell out of it. I think it would have went to $10. So that's why I think it goes to $10 this cycle, because that's the way that the ratios work out of like XRP to Ethereum to Bitcoin, et cetera, in the 2021 cycle. So I think XRP should have got to 10 last cycle, even though I think it's extremely overvalued, and XRP's never really gonna live up to what it claims it will, and not even remotely close. But it doesn't matter. Delusion is more important than reality sometimes. So from here, again, I still think XRP probably gets somewhere around $10, maybe as high as 20 if the whole thing, everything goes crazy, but it's not really XRP independent. It would be, if XRP is going to $10, if it goes to $10, what do you think Bitcoin's at? Probably at least $250,000. What do you think ETH is at? Probably like 12 to 15,000. What do you think Solana's at? Probably over $1,000. And what do you think all their beta, what do you think meme coins have done from here to there? 20, 30, 40, 50x. So I could get a 3x in XRP maybe, and really hate my position because I just hate XRP. I don't want to say I hate it. I'm just annoyed by it. I'm annoyed that people still just fall for their promise. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe I end up being wrong. Maybe it ends up ruining the world. I don't know everything. That's for sure. I'm wrong all the time. But if that happens, then memes are just going to go much higher. And I'd rather be there. That's my thought. Did I just... I got to go back. Ugh. Hold on. Drop any other questions you got in here. By the way, go over here. I put up a free guide on DeFi, right? I find about 2% of people in crypto know how to use DeFi. So it means like 98% don't. Do you understand what kinds of opportunities and advantages that 2% have over everyone else that's just randomly buying coins? Like, I teach you over here how I get double-digit yield on stable coins, Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. Do you really want to win? If you're going to say yes, which you're all going to say, then to not pick up that free guide says something completely opposite. And with that being said, I hate giving away free stuff because even though it's great, almost no one ever even reads it or uses it. And I'll be looking at the metrics. People go get it. But if people don't open the damn email and go to the link, then I'm going to start charging for it. Because I know when I charge for things, people pay a lot more attention and they put forth a lot more effort because they've actually paid for something, even though it's the same goddamn thing. Do you want to win? Don't be a schmuck. Go get that free guide while it's still free, because I know what's going to happen. I've done this before. People are going to go get it, and almost no one's even going to open the damn thing. And it's going to make me have to charge for it so that people actually use it. Same thing. Same thing. Whatever. XRP has the worst community. I mean, they tend to run up the coins, so I don't know. They are very, very tribal and very angry when you say something about XRP, which is like, how cliche is that? Like, duh, like, okay, you guys get angry and emotional when someone says anything negative about your coin. Well, that's like as cliche as it gets. Like, clearly you guys are extremely biased. You don't have a reason. You just get angry and you get abusive. The original people to do that were Bitcoin maxis, but Bitcoin's done pretty well. How long will it be up in time for me to get off work? I don't know. Is there any reason you can't just go to that site and put in your email? Take you 30 seconds and it'll automatically get sent to your email. Be sure to check your spam and junk. Let me go back to that Bitcoin chart. Running a little experiment with it. I'm guessing damn well people will not open the email. And even those that do won't click the link and go watch the damn thing. You know what I even do? I'm gonna watch the view time on each video. Say a video is 30-minute long, download, excuse me. I'm gonna watch that stuff. I bet most people don't even open the email, and I bet most don't even download the guide. Just saying, I've done this before. I know people. When we pay for things, we tend to value them a lot more than when we get them for free, even though it could be the same exact thing. This guide up here, you're gonna get it for free, and almost none of you are even gonna open it. But if you pay for it, every single one of you is gonna open it. I've done this over and over. Prove me wrong. Buy Altcoin now, or will it drop a bit more? I mean, I bought last night. Maybe I was a little too overzealous, but you know, Jag, like, it's not, you know what it's like. Like, we don't try to grab bottoms. We try to get things when they're undervalued and sell them when they're overvalued. But you're pretty familiar with trading. Like, I think you could look at that Altcoin Sol pair, which maybe I'll pull that up real quick. Let's look at the Altcoin Sol pair. So the Altcoin Sol pair is pretty interesting. It's up near-ish all-time high up here. So could it come down? Sure. I'm gonna draw a little trend line here. Isn't that interesting? That low to that low, and now we're coming here. So this is the area to watch. If it starts coming through here, that would make me more concerned. If it came down to it, I expect it to ride this line and go up. So this is really the line to probably really watch, is connecting that bottom to this. I would probably bet on Altcoin continuing to outperform Solana. And if we just go to the pure Altcoin chart, maybe it could come down some more. I think it'd be a pretty clear buy down here at anywhere in the low dollars or sub dollar, which would suck because I bought it last night like $1.40. I'm already down quite a bit. Overzealous I was. But I don't think there's any rush. I thought it was because it broke above here, and I'm like, you know what? I think this is going to continue. I was wrong. Pull back. I didn't buy the top, but I did buy too early. That's for sure. And it's FOMC week, so I should have known better. Those weeks are usually choppy and gross. But I think this is probably the first support that we're hitting down here at about $1.10. What did it hit today? About $1.11. So we'll see. I'm patient. I still think. Yeah, I was a little too overzealous, which happens. So either way, we'll see. We'll see. I wouldn't be afraid to nibble here. But if you want, you can just be patient, which is probably what I should have done, which was buy here and here, although I was buying Wolf and MLG down at these areas. But here, now looking at it, since it didn't break like I thought it would, I'll probably chill. Maybe chill till Wednesday. FOMC, see what happens there. Why do alts run after Ethereum? Good question. Because they are more risky. Because they're more risky, right? Why does Ethereum run after Bitcoin? Why does Solana run after Bitcoin? Bitcoin leads the way because it's the lowest risk crypto coin, other than stablecoins. Stablecoins are the least risky thing in crypto because they're always worth $1. But then money from there comes into Bitcoin, and then it makes its way down the risk spectrum. Ethereum is on the lower risk side of crypto anyways. And so alts are riskier because they're a lot more speculative. And so for money to move its way down the risk curve to take on more risk, it's got to be like ETH and Bitcoin got to be up, because that's a good gauge for the overall market. Like say sports cards. Sports cards is something I'm pretty familiar with. I like sports cards. The Bitcoin of sports cards is the Michael Jordan rookie card. When that card starts going up or down, that's a really good gauge for the entirety of the market. Same thing with Bitcoin. But then from there, maybe you look at a LeBron rookie after Michael Jordan. And if LeBron starts going up, you're like, oh, okay. The market's starting to put more money in and go further down the risk curve. Stuff like that. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Binance. Binance, I think, just made a new all-time high, actually. Let me look at that. Yeah, Binance just made a new all-time high today. Look at this, $861. Made a new all-time high today, Binance did, Binance coin. New all-time high. Let me go to the monthly. I mean, really, really made a new all-time high. I mean, the all-time high was made back here in December at about 793, and now today made a new high for this month of today, 861. That's pretty goddamn interesting. That's super interesting, actually. That's really, really interesting to see that. Really interesting. Really, really interesting. I don't know how many times I can say that, but it really is. Because the old all-time high was right here, and now it's up here, hit as high as like 860. Very interesting. So there are things making new all-time highs, and Binance isn't just some random coin. It is the number 5, it's the 5th largest coin in crypto, 4th largest non-stable coin by market cap, right above Solana. Above Solana by about $15 billion. It's a $115 billion coin. Yeah. Okay, go to the website on the board and submit my email. Yeah, that's all you do, because that's where the guide will come to. What email do you want it sent to? I sold my fart coin 2 days ago, bought back, now gained 1,200. Fuck yeah, Jag, you're good at that. You're good at that. You're good at the sell high, buy lower, and then not staying in too long. That's why I don't really want to tell you what to do, because I think you might be better at that than I am. I tend to hold on to things for too long. I executed it pretty nicely with hype this month. Sold it at like 46.70, bought back in at like 41.80, and I'm up on that. But I acquired more hype. Which meme is your favorite? I think the ones that I'm most invested in is Landwolf, because that's the furthest leveraged Pepe beta, right? It's a member of the Boys Club. So if ETH is going to go up, Pepe is going to go up, and if that's going to happen, all the Boys Clubs are going to go up. Landwolf, multiple-wise, percentage-wise, should go up the most, like it has this entire time when the Boys Club move. So that one, and then MLG over on Solana, which has had a really nice move today. Maybe that's all it gets today, I don't know. But it has about almost 26,000 holders, and it's only like a $12 million market cap coin, and it's been as high as like 220 million. And the entire community and the posters and the culture of it and the potential size of it, because it's MLG, Major League Gaming, and the kind of call to that era and group of culture, it's like 1 billion people. So I'm like, I just think that one can do really, really, really effing well. So Landwolf and MLG. I'd say MLG is more risky. Landwolf is really only about as risky as Pepe. And I don't see Pepe as risky. I see Pepe as risky as ETH. Really. That's my opinion though. Bonk. Yeah, Bonk, to me, it's between Bonk and Fartcoin for the top memes on Solana. Yeah, I think Bonk ends up being the mascot of Solana, but I think Fartcoin might have a bigger market cap, because Fartcoin, I think, is probably bigger in terms of what it means. than Bonk? Because Altcoin's bigger than Solana. Do I mean it's going to have a bigger market cap? No. But I mean it's bigger than crypto. I think it signals a big middle finger and FU to the wealth gap and traditional finance and all that shit. Kind of like, AMC, GameStop, Wall Street bet style. And for a meme, memes are supposed to be funny. Like, what's funnier than a fart? Seriously. Everyone laughs at farts, most people, right? And for some reason, they're endlessly funny. They are. And that the story behind it is just so perfect. It was like everything behind it was created by the first AI agent on Twitter, Truth Terminal. Wrote a whole description paper on someone asked what would be the best meme coin, and it said Fartcoin, and it laid out all the different things. And then someone ended up creating Fartcoin, and that's where we are today. So the story behind it's great. I think Fartcoin ends up being a bigger market cap than Bonk, but it's more than just the Solana meme coin. Bonk is the Solana meme coin, right? So it can't really get bigger than that narrative. But Fartcoin can get bigger than that, and I think it is bigger than that. Does that make sense? Let me know. Like, I see 10 likes up here. Give me some likes on there. There's 29 of you on here, it says. Give me some likes if you at least appreciated that little rundown on my kind of hypothesis of Fartcoin. Welcome to crypto. It's who would have guessed 2025? Who would have guessed? Here we are talking about Fartcoin as a serious adult investment. It really says something about the state of the financial markets. I saw one like come in. Only one of you liked my hypothesis there. Okay. I got the back end of it and had to make a call. I see the little hearts coming in. I guess that's different over here because they're up here. There's like a little like counter. I just see 11. But even though the hearts come in, that doesn't go up. So I'm assuming whoever's sending hearts, maybe that doesn't hit the like button, or maybe they already hit the like button. I don't know. I appreciate the hearts coming in. I think we can only like once. Yeah, definitely. You can only like once. You have to like swipe up the screen or turn it sideways or something and hit that, good old thumbs up button. I think, but anyways, yeah, not like TikTok, yeah. 12, okay, appreciate that. By the way, 2% of people in crypto use DeFi. 98% don't. Those 2% have a massive advantage and have a massive opportunity that the 98% don't know how to take advantage of. Over here, dailycryptobull.com, I put together a free guide of my favorite DeFi plays. Beginner friendly, right? Let me ask you this, put a 1 in the chat. Are you interested in learning how to get double-digit yield on stablecoins, Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana? Put a 1 in the chat if that's you. Linwood Jones says, if you double tap, it's a like up there. Very good to know. Thank you, Linwood. I mean, imagine getting 10 to 15% on your stablecoin while you just sit there. Imagine your ETH, Bitcoin, and Solana getting 20% yield, growing into more ETH, Bitcoin, and Solana passively. If you're not putting a 1 in the chat, you're clueless. I don't know. Anyways, I have a free guide. Go get it. It's free for now. I'm running an experiment because every time I give something away free, people go download it or claim it rather, and almost none of them ever even open the email, let alone actually go through the damn thing. But if I charge for something, almost everybody goes through the damn thing and uses it, even though it's the same. So prove me wrong. Go get it for free. Go open it up and read it. Put together a PDF guide. It's free for now. For now. You're waiting on the email? Yeah, the email response service is kind of slow, usually within 15 minutes, but for some people it can take up to an hour. I have no idea why. But it'll show up. Be sure to check your spam and junk box. And if you don't see anything within an hour, you should have my email after you're done, I think. Either way, we'll figure it out, but you'll get it as long as you didn't put it. And be sure to not put it, be sure to put in the correct email address, because sometimes people put in like a typo and they're like, where is it? I'm like, oh, are you Billy Bob at yahoo.cos? No, it's .com. Well, you had a typo. Drop some questions in here. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about today? We've talked about some stuff. By the way, this is what the site looks like. You could also just, like I said, dailycrypto.com, that's what it is. Show you how I get double-digit yield on stable Solana, Bitcoin, and ETH. Whoops. What are we looking at over here? Did you realize, by the way, people talk about this often, but did you realize Bitcoin is the 6th biggest asset on the planet now? It was the 5th for a little bit. It flipped to Amazon, but then it kind of pulled back, and Amazon went up a bit. 6th. Eventually, Bitcoin's going to be up here. Right now, gold's a $22 trillion market cap. One day, Bitcoin's going to flip it, I'd say, within the next 10 years. And gold's market cap will be even bigger than this, and yet Bitcoin will still flip it in 10 years. Maybe gold's up to 30 trillion by then. Well, then Bitcoin will be at 31, which is a nice like 15x from here. Inevitable. Inevitable. What do I got over here? Rainbow chart. I don't want to look at that. Properties of money. Remember, your dollar is always going down in value. Buying power. Always, always, always. It's down 99% from 100 years ago. What else do I got here? Bitcoin mining cost. Very important to pay attention to. Let's check what the fear and greed is today. Let's refresh this. Very important to always check the fear and greed index. Let's go 7 days. Scroll up. What are we at today? 75. So we're a little bit more greedy than we were when I looked a day or two ago. Yesterday was 73. Last week 71. So we're getting greedy, but we're not in extreme greed yet. Above 80 is probably extreme greed. We're working our way to it. We're working our way up. Does putting 200 to 300 into Bitcoin every 2 weeks worth it? In my opinion, dramatically. Dramatically. Like, right, the stock market, right, on average goes up about like 10 to 12% a year on average. Some years it's down, some years it's up more than that, but on average about 10 to 12%. And people do that for 30, 40 years until they retire, and that money grows and grows and grows, and then they retire and they're comfortable. Well, Bitcoin's going to outperform that. I mean, Bitcoin within 10 years is going to be over $1 million. So if you could put $200 to $300 in a week, knowing that it's probably going to be worth $2,000 to $3,000 in 10 years, and even more than that beyond that, would it be worth it? That's a question for you to answer. Doing that leverage at 10x, just 14 leverage loans. Help me understand how tariff negotiations affect crypto. They don't. They don't. It's a fucking fugazi. It doesn't matter. And it's so short term, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I beg all of you to just zoom out and chill. Don't worry about the tariff thing. That's what makes the market go down, because people pay too much attention to something that has an end. Like the tariff thing ended in April. And I shoved. The second he posted, actually on Twitter, before he even announced that they were pausing tariffs, he posted on his Truth Social and Twitter, it's a good time to get into the stock market. When Trump does that, he's not lying. He's telling you, I'm about to do something that's going to send the market up. Here's me giving you inside information, my following. Seriously, whether you love him or hate him, follow him, because he posts stuff like that, and when he does, you get to be on the inside. Not the centerpiece, but you're far enough in that you make some nice money, and I shoved. Early April. I'm like, oh, I've seen this before. And what's the market done since then? Let's see here, buy Bitcoin fares. Read my comment. Use your manners and say, please. How can someone prepare for next cycle? You can't. You prepare by it's not about a cycle to cycle to cycle to cycle. It's about constantly going with the flow of the market. You need to get in immediately, and you need to start playing around. You don't need to shove all in, depending on your experience level. But by that question, clearly you haven't been around 8+ years like I have. You don't prepare for the next cycle. There may not be a next cycle. We are in one perpetual bull run. And we're still in this cycle, and there's still plenty of upside left. When I say cycle, it means cyclical. Because as I showed you before, Bitcoin is in what's called a secular bull run. Secular, meaning long term, right? This is Bitcoin over its entire existence. It's done nothing but go up, make higher highs and higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. This is just one big bull run. It's going to continue for probably decades. Maybe forever, seriously. So we are in a perpetual bull run. But these little periods of massive outperformance and underperformance we refer to as the cycle, which is cyclical. Cyclical, which means short term. Okay. Well, we're here. We still have upside to go. Let me zoom in on this. Let me zoom in here. We still have upside to go, my friends. Look at this. So this is the 2017 bull market high right here. Thanks for the likes coming in. Right, December 2017, I got into crypto back here in May of 2017. Rode that shit up, thought I was going up forever, made a ton of money, and then lost a ton of money. Painful. Rode this shit up, made money, lost less money. Done pretty well this cycle. So this trend line here, 2017 high, 2021 first high, and then double top, okay? This line right here, I think there's a very good chance Bitcoin comes up to here by the end of the year. Is it a guarantee? Hell no. But that put it at $250,000. And if it goes up to this line, that put it at more like 320. I think by the end of the year, Bitcoin should get to probably at least 150 to 175, but as high as 320. That's how crazy this is. So when you ask me how to plan for next cycle, you don't. Because you don't know when this cyclical bull run ends, and you don't know when the cyclical bear market comes, but you kind of will, because it's typically led, especially at this point, it'll be when I'll say when we go into a bear market, the stock market will be in a bear market also, okay? So you'll know, there'll be something like, oh no, inflation has raged, oh no, you know, the financial real estate markets are collapsing again, or something like that. You'll know. Then you get the fuck out, you sit in cash, and since you went over to dailycryptobull.com and got the free DeFi guide, now you know how to sit in stablecoin and get double-digit yield while you wait for prices to bottom, and you get to swoop it all up and do it all again. But it's not a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month thing. It's a perpetual, ongoing game. And let me be very clear with all of you. Let me be very clear. It was so easy to get rich as shit back here. Where am I? Back here in 2017. Super rich to get easy here, because the only thing you could buy was Bitcoin. Super rich, easy to get rich here because you could really only buy 4 things: Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and XRP, or Litecoin and XRP. Solana wasn't around. Very easy. But now it was even pretty doable back here, because Bitcoin, ETH really could make you rich. But now neither of them can make you rich. Bitcoin can make you rich here, here, and even here. ETH can make you rich here and here. But now Bitcoin and ETH can't make you rich during one cycle. Neither can Solana, neither can XRP. At least Solana could have, if you had been buying down here instead of sucking your thumb in a corner, acting like you're so smart and you're waiting for it to go lower when it's at $8. There's way more coins now. So even though there's a lot more money in crypto, right? We're close to $4 trillion in total crypto market cap. To put that in perspective, in the 2017 bull market, we only got to 750 billion with a B, right? So what is that? 20% of what we are now, and here we got to 3 trillion. And now we're at 4. We'll probably, I think, get up to 10, if we're real lucky, 15. I think my target is between 8 and 13 for the total crypto market cap. So you can't just be in Bitcoin or ETH or even Solana at this point and get rich. You can make good returns. And I think that that's really where we're at now, is I think it's way, way, way harder to get rich in crypto, but you can get phenomenal returns, and that's the game going on. You know, you can still get 2, 3, 5, even 10 X's, but the days of 100 X's, 200 X's are by and large gone, and if you get them, there's a solid element of luck there, right? I'm sitting, you know, I got into Landwolf last year. I got 100X out of it because of 2 plays. I sold top, bought low. I bought, sold top, bought, sold top. So that added up to 100X. You know how many things I tried to do that with that it did not play out and I just lost money on? More. But in 2021 and 2017, like, you like couldn't fucking miss. Now you can miss a lot. And so I think seeking out, oh, I'm gonna get rich this cycle, I think you should really temper your expectations, really, because it's just not the same environment. Even though there's a lot more money here, there's exponentially more coins, so that money, that liquidity is way more distributed. Whereas like in 2017, you could really only buy like 4 things: Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, and Litecoin. That was it. It's like all you could really buy. It was hard to miss because all the money was going to go into those 4 things. But now we have, I don't know, at least 1 million coins. It's just way harder. But don't hear what I'm not saying. You can make really good returns in the cycle by the end of the year. 2, 3, 5, even 10 X's, totally doable. And we have DeFi now. Go over to dailycryptobull.com and get that free guide. If you actually want to win and you won't do as much as go get that free guide, you don't want to win. Glass ceiling broken. And even most of you that go get it, you're not even going to open it. I've done this before. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Well, I opened it. Oh yeah? How much time did you spend doing it? Almost no one's going to use any of it. But if you paid for it, you'd use it. I've seen it over and over. We'll see. I'll probably eventually start charging for it because I'm going to have to, because no one's using it if it's free, even though way more people get it. I went on a rant. All right, when I started leveraging 200 Bitcoin, it was only 200K. Today I have 206 Bitcoin, loan worth 20 mil. See the difference. I'm not completely tracking. Oh, yeah, you're just saying the value of Bitcoin is a lot more. Yeah, no doubt. Started following you last winter. Just want to say love your educational sauce. Thanks, Ferris. Thank you. XMR, you keep forgetting. I don't. XMR. Wait, what is XMR? Is that Monero? Yeah, Monero's been around for a while. I remember mining Monero from my computer back in 2017. But again, 98% of all the money back in 2017 was going into Bitcoin, Litecoin, XRP, and ETH. There was basic attention token, that's still around. You know, that's the Brave browser coin. So it's my silver to Bitcoins go. I don't think I would do that. I mean, there's a true use case for Monero still, but I'm just so, I've lost so much attention. I haven't paid enough attention. I don't really feel like diving back in. Privacy coins are a real thing because it was always back then it was between Monero and Zcash. And Monero is clearly the winner of that privacy coin thing, it seems like. You could have said that last cycle. I don't want to say your name because I feel like I'm saying a slur when I say your name, but I'll just say QTOR. Yeah, you've been around for a while, I can tell. What else you guys want to talk about? Drop in here. Usually I go heavy on the charts, same charts I look at. I just see, one that I just really like to look at is the total 3 chart. So this is the value of all of crypto if you take out Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's just over 1 trillion. So it's about 25% of the total crypto market cap if you included Bitcoin and ETH. And it's been in this nice, beautiful channel for 8 years. And we're right in the middle of it. And we're not even at all-time high right now. I don't believe. Let me look. It's the all-time high. Back there it was 1.13. We did make a new all-time high, barely, in December of 1.16. And right now we're at 1.035. So we're below all-time high on that, which is quite an indicator of altcoins. Quite an indicator of altcoin market. I don't know what else to say. Like it's just a waiting game. And then if we go down even further, the risk curve of like the down and dirty altcoin market, which is called others, which is the market cap of all of the crypto coins, but only the ones outside of the top 10. So if you remove Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Cardano, etc., in the top 10, and you add all those together, right now, they're worth a little under 300 billion. But the all-time high was right here in November 21, at almost 500 billion, right? We're way under that. And did we even make a new all-time high this cycle? No, we did not. We got to about 450, I think, 451. So we haven't even made a new all-time high, even though we have a ton more altcoins than we've ever had. If you add them all together, there's still way less money in those altcoins collectively than there was at the peaks in 2021. And even of the high we made this cycle, which is still below the all-time high, the high was like 450 billion. Right now we're at 293. I just see a lot of upside and way less downside. I just think it's way riskier to be out of the market than in it. Doesn't mean every coin's gonna do well for you. If you go get in a brand new meme coin, you may just take it up the rooter most of the time. But to buy established things, I think that the coins, by and large, for this cycle are, with rare exception, set. I think you have your market to invest in now. We had all the meme coins launching all over the place, but now there's enough meme coins for like every niche, right? Like I said, my biggest holding is actually MLG, which is the Major League Gamer token. It's over on Solana. Well, the gaming community is fucking huge. Right, so there's a community. You got all your dog, sub-dog communities. You got your sub-cat communities. You've got hippos. You got elephants. You got so many different niche communities, meme communities, cultures, that I think there's somewhere for everyone to go now. And I don't think there's a lot of room for new stuff. I think new coins getting any kind of traction is going to be very rare going forward. So I think that what's nice is what you have to invest in right now. I think you pretty much have the whole board of it. It's the most broad board of ever, but at least it's there. And most of them, by far, now have at least enough history for you to see that they exist, because they went through a big drawdown at the beginning part of this year. That's a big test. It's inevitable. It always happens, and it will happen again. But did this community survive? Has it went up and been in an uptrend since that April low? That's a pretty good sign. And the answer to that question for many things is yes. VPN library, yeah, Cuter. There's a lot of like good projects, but you've been around long enough that you know that good project doesn't necessarily equal good investment. Not that it makes sense, just what is what it is. Yeah, Cuter said He said, very rare, agrees with me. Says, any alts from this point forward will have to have an existing project with existing users to gain any kind of attention. The days of Reddit bots is over. More or less, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, actually a lot of them will probably have some kind of leverage. Like the coin that comes to mind that's really new, that's probably gonna stick around and has done really well is the Memecoin Useless. Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard of Useless, the Memecoin Useless. Is anyone else here listening? Because all I have is cute. I appreciate you commenting, but there's 25 of you at least on here. You'd do a good job. You'd be happy. You'd learn a lot if you hopped in. Ferris says 0. So yeah, I didn't give you an option. So this is the Useless chart. It's a really new coin. It was launched back here in May 10th. Popped up, dropped down, took off. What is Useless? Well, Useless coin is the major meme coin that has come out of the bonk.fund launchpad, right? If you haven't been paying attention, pump.fund was the major meme coin launchpad, right? That's where everything came from. And it was on the Solana network, is. But since May, Bonk is in Bonk the Coin, that community, which is another reason to be very bullish on Bonk, launched its own launchpad called bonk.fund. Matter of fact, let me pull that up. And since then, now let me be very clear. Before bonk.fund came out, pump.fund made up for like 99% of all meme coins getting launched. But since May, as of today, Bonk now makes up over 80% of all new meme coin launches. It has crushed Pump. And Bonk is in Bonk Coin, launched let's bonk.fund, excuse me, which is also bonk.fund. This site right here. And the major coin that's come out of here is Useless. And really it seems to be kind of the let's bonk.fund meme coin. The coin of let's bonk.fund of the site. So that's the community behind it. And it's called Useless because it's useless. Meme coins are useless. So it's also being real. So that's a rare exception where, hey, a new coin has come out and there's a story behind it, but it's so rare because all communities have really been tokenized already. Other than, let's bonk.fund is a new community, but it's also an extension of an old community. So, surprise, surprise, a lot of Useless holders are also bonk holders. So it's kind of like a little bonk. Makes sense, right? And that's the way things are playing out. Now, there'll still be major projects that launch a coin like Monad. Monad, its whole thing is it's supposed to be super fast, but it's quite a VC coin. And they'll launch a coin here eventually. Linea will launch a coin. Linea will probably just go down to dirt. Monad, I don't know, but depends. But it's not going to get a bunch of new users because, let's be real. People that use crypto, we're happy in the Ethereum and Solana ecosystems, and I just don't care. It's a Herculean effort for these other projects to bring users onto their chain. I have no idea how they would do it now. Because they don't just need to bring users, they need to bring money. And most money is on ETH, and it's going to stay on ETH. Because ETH is the safest, it's the most decentralized. What about Bitcoin? Yes, Bitcoin's the most decentralized, yeah, but you can't really do DeFi. You can't do all that stuff on Bitcoin, not really. What about layer 2? Just stop. ETH is by far, for big money, the best place, no question, to do DeFi. By the way, if you want to stop living under a rock and screwing yourself, go to dailycryptobull.com, get my free DeFi guide where I show you the hacks to how I get double-digit yield on stablecoin, Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. Take you 30 seconds. Go put in your email. You'll get an automatic email with the guide. It's free for now. Odds are I'm going to start charging for it. Why? Because I know goddamn well that even though a whole bunch of you will go get it, almost none of you will actually read it. And I can track all that stuff. So what's the point of giving something away to help if people won't fucking use it? But you know what will make you use it? If I make you pay for it. Because if you pay for it, you're going to pay attention. And you're going to pay more effort. Because you already invested. That's truth. That's just human behavior. So it's free for now. I'm going to be charging for it soon. I guarantee it. Show the Bitcoin dominance chart. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one to look at. Let's take a look at that. Kind of about where we've been for. I'm on the weekly chart. I'll go down to the daily though. Well, no, I'll wait. I'm gonna get out of that. So for those of you that don't know, Bitcoin dominance is the percentage Bitcoin makes up of the total crypto market cap, right? So right now the total crypto market cap is just under 4 trillion. Better way to put it, for every dollar in crypto, 61 cents of it is in Bitcoin, okay? And that percentage was down here, so only 40 cents of every dollar was in Bitcoin back in November of 22. Ever since then, it's been going up. And it's hit a high, actually, of about 66, right? 66 cents every dollar in crypto. But when you see this drop, that means altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, okay? This was the last altcoin season we had. This is what it looks like. Bitcoin dominance fell from almost 74% down to 39%. Where's the bottom? There's the bottom. 39, just under 40%. Fell a ton. So that's what everyone's looking for, is for Bitcoin dominance to fall. And when it really falls out of this, it's been in this channel for over 2 years. In this channel, top, bottom, top, bottom, top. Broke it for a second in December. Here we go, altcoin season. Nope, it's a fake out. Boom, overcorrection to the top. Top. Now we've come down to the bottom of this channel. If we can break out of here, first spot we're gonna hit is this 100-day moving average. Okay, at about 57%, and then next rung down is probably 52, then 49. And if we get real lucky by the end of the year, maybe we get down here to this long-term trend line of about 43%. So somewhere between 43 and 53 is where I think Bitcoin dominance is gonna bottom. And those are times when you have to seriously take some money off the table. Seriously. Because it's temporary. With that being said, if I zoom out, Bitcoin dominance is in a perpetual, really kind of downtrend. Maybe you could argue a wedge. But back here in 2017, it was at 96%, dropped to, what did it drop to here? About 35%. And then popped back up to, like I said, almost 74%. And then went down to 39%. And it's been going up ever since. I don't expect it to get up here to 73. It could come up more, I guess. It could. But I'm just biased. I want it to just break down. I want it to break down to here. Will it? I don't know. I think it at least comes to here in this zone. But if we get real lucky, it'll come down here. And it will be temporary because it will rise again, because there's everything in crypto, everything other than stable coins is riskier than Bitcoin. And from a long-term perspective, Bitcoin is still the best asset on the planet to get a return. Risk-reward adjusted, it's not even close. It's just not even close. And if you don't get that yet, I'm not religious, but I'll pray for you. We need a mega candle to get above 70. Maybe. Well, right now we're at a point We're at the bottom of this channel that we've been in for over 2 years. So is it going to break down? Is it going to bounce up? I don't know. We'll see. Are you looking at fear and greed indicator? Definitely. We're at 75 right now, which is greedy, but it's nothing to be too concerned about at 75. When you get it to like 80s, 85, 90, then other things are probably going to line up and show you that, yeah, this seems very overbought. Maybe we've even gone parabolic at that point. Yeah. RSI is very oversold on Bitcoin. Dominance. Let me pull up Lever Atlas real quick. Lever Atlas on the weekly is showing me that, did you say overbought? Oversold. It doesn't look oversold at all on Lever Atlas weekly. Looks like it's been forming maybe the longest fucking bearish divergence I've ever seen. So will it ever really break down? I don't know. Lever Atlas is my custom indicator down here. RSI is a component of it. Keep having these bearish divergences. We just had one here, came down, but when it starts going below the 0 line, then it's probably altcoin season, and we're just not there yet. If I go to the daily, maybe yeah, it's pretty oversold on the daily. Yeah, pretty oversold on the daily. That's true. Yep, down to the bottom of this channel. Yep, that confirms it. But money flow is still curving down. We could see it break down. We could. Will we? I don't know. Here's the last time, right? Now, yeah, it actually looks bullish for Bitcoin dominance, because this was quite a pump here and it got to about minus 78, but as you can see, we're below that now at about minus 97. Yeah, you're dead right. Very oversold on the daily for Bitcoin dominance. So favors an up, which is probably, well, it would definitely mean one of two things. It means Bitcoin goes up more than the rest of the market, or Bitcoin goes down less than the rest of the market. That's where we're sitting. So maybe it is a little more dangerous in the short term. I'm more Forex and commodity trader. Buy crypto now to use to withdraw profit in trading. ING Bank just red flagged all Coinbase addresses in Australia. Yeah, are you an Australian, Ben? Well, your last name's Foster, and that is Australian for beer, right? So I'm assuming you are. I know a number of Australians, and they tell me the same thing. Australia is awful. Is awful for crypto. All right, what else we got going on here today? You realize that behind me, like if you were in this room with me, you would look at that and you'd realize that it's written backwards. But because the way this thing works is I have to write it backwards for you to be able to read it normally. If you were in this room and you wrote Daily Crypto Bull, it would be going the other way. Because this whole camera is like mirrored or something, or reversed. So I had to literally figure out how to write it backwards. Right to left. See? Here, my left is actually over here. Left to right. But if you look at it, left to right. Left to right. I had to write it backwards so that you could read it. It took me a minute. Wait, are you telling me that, no. Are you telling me that it's backwards on your screen? On my screen, it reads perfectly. Wait, you're telling me it's backwards for you? You're telling me you can read that perfectly? This one? The one I just wrote? You're telling me that one reads normally for you on the bottom? Ha! Well, that's easier for me. So I don't have to write that damn thing backwards anymore. On my screen, interesting. Interesting. I'm so glad to hear that. Because it was so hard for me to write it backwards. I mean, my writing sucks, but you can probably figure out what it is. Do you like Ethereum because recently removed limit for 32 ETH on validation? So that brings more stability and liquidity. Have some comments. Is it not 32 ETH to be a validator anymore? I haven't seen that. I could tell that B was complicated. It was. I had to write it so many times. I kept writing it like basically kind of upside down and backwards. The A was the hardest part for me to write backwards, though. I just couldn't get it straight. I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, I mean, I think ETH, you need ETH to do well for the altcoins to do well. Oh, you're saying you need 2,000 ETH to be a validator? Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. Not one bit. Yeah, I don't like a $2,000 minimum to be an ETH validator. I don't like that. That said, I'm not an expert on that stuff. If they're doing it, you know, that was, I don't know. If they're doing it, I'm sure they have reasons. And you don't govern anything. I mean, you do. You do. If you're a validator, you do. Not that your vote is necessarily counts a ton, but you know, it is the validators that approve or disapprove transactions. They basically are the ones that say this is true, this is not true. That's governance, I suppose. Most important governance of the chain. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, no, they still do. Because like if they wanted to change, like it was the miners, right? Yeah, it was was it the miners that voted to go to proof of stake? No, it wasn't. You're right. I don't think it was. How the fuck did that decision happen? Was it just the ETH Foundation? No, because there had to be enough consensus to go to proof of stake, and they worked forever on doing the merge. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you want to say, and what's going to POS from validating, because there's no more mining. Mining only happens on proof of work chains like Bitcoin or Caspa or Litecoin. Everything else is proof of stake for the most part. XRP, I don't think is even proof of stake. XRP is just completely Ripple centralized stuff. I could be wrong. That's just my understanding at the current moment. Drums or flats? What? I'm gonna write this a little better. It's all scribbly now. I realize it's hard to read. All right, good to know. Now I don't have to write that shit backwards anymore. Chicken wings. Oh, drums or flats. I don't eat animals. I don't eat animals. I don't support harming animals. If you get angry at me about that, that's strange. Are you going to mining disrupt? Mining disrupt. What is that? I don't know what that is. Do not know what that is. I wonder what else we could talk about today. What else could I talk about today? I don't know. Maybe just shoot the shit here with you solid today. Major mining convention. Oh, no. No, I went to the Bitcoin conference in Vegas in May. Reminded me, I don't know why I ever go to those things. I mean, they're all right. They're just, I don't know. It's just a convention. I don't know why people really go to conventions much other than to to get business. But I wasn't there to get any business. I was there to observe and report. And, I guess I did get a little insight when I was there, because that's when I first really started hearing about Bitcoin treasury companies. I'm like, what? You guys are companies that the only thing you do is you just buy Bitcoin and people give you money to do that? Why would they give you money for that? And there's a lot of reasons why bigger piles of money would do that. But I do think we'll have another cyclical bear market. And I think that it will be led by collapse of these Bitcoin and Ethereum treasury companies. I think that that's what will be the way down. And I welcome it, next year. November 11th through 13th, no. I'll tell you, at the Bitcoin conference, 80% of the vendors were Bitcoin miners. But the Bitcoin conference next year, I think it's in April, it's in Vegas again. Same exact place it was, at the Venetian. And the Venetian, have any of you ever been to the Venetian in Las Vegas? Let me know. Because it's incredibly humongous. I think it's the second largest hotel in the world. It used to be first, and then it became second, because I guess one in Malaysia or something is now the biggest in the world. That's where the water, Venice gondolas are. There's a convention center, there's a gigantic hotel, a gigantic casino, there's a fucking mall in there. It's incredible. Einstein said compounding interest, the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, and those who don't pay in it. Yeah. Go to dailycryptobull.com. Start your DeFi journey. Free guide showing you how I get double-digit returns. Stablecoin, Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. I still think only about 2% of people in crypto have any idea how to use DeFi. So the opportunity is still massive. And if you don't know how to do it, well, you're missing out on a gigantic opportunity. And if you want to win, you got to know more than the next guy. Go get it while it's still free. I'm probably going to have to end up charging for it. Because I've done this before, Hundreds of people will go get the free guide, and like 2% of them will even open the thing. But when you pay for it, I'll go charge for the same thing. 100 people get it, 99 of them are going to open it and go through it because they paid for it. Same thing. What's different? They paid money, so now they pay attention. They're willing to put forth more effort because they actually made a decision, actually paid for something. It's weird how we work. Prove me wrong. XRP Bitcoin is right now negative 54% on its all chart. This means if you owned XRP at any point instead of Bitcoin, you lost. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's been that way since December of 2017. It's been that way for almost 8 years. No doubt. More is problem than now big fund have most Bitcoin, and from that doing derivatives and moving like they want to, I hope other coin is less vulnerable. I don't think Bitcoin's vulnerable because Bitcoin is Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's going to go somewhere. And if they fuck up their own bags through leveraging and derivatives and stuff, which they always inevitably do, that gets puked back out into the market and you get to buy it for cheap. So go right ahead. Big market, big funds, lever it up, derivative it up. It runs up the price until eventually they explode and they drop all this cheap Bitcoin back on the market for a while. That's what happened with real estate in 2008 through 2012, all over the world, but I'll just speak specifically for the US. That's what happened with tech stocks in the .com bubble. We are in a Bitcoin/crypto growing bubble right now. It's gonna pop, but it's not big enough to pop yet. It's not big enough to like really pop and puke. Not even close. I'd say it's halfway there. Maybe. XRP Bitcoin. I mean, yeah. I mean, you already know what it looks like. I mean, you know damn well it's going to just be a down, almost down only chart. I mean, it's been trying harder. It's been trying. Why does this chart only go back to here? Well, the XRP, I want that one, but it gave me that one. So I'm gonna have to do it backwards. We're gonna have to do Bitcoin USD divided by XRP USD so I can select which one it is. And now over 2 weeks to August 13. Well, this chart really shows me that it's been, so on this chart, when it's going up, Bitcoin's outperforming. You know, here was back in 2017. Yeah, actually, this is a pretty sideways chart. This is a pretty sideways chart. I'd say going from between, we could say here or here. I'd say here, down to probably about here. And that would give, if that were to happen, so right now, XRP versus Bitcoin. Right now, it looks to me like Bitcoin should be bouncing versus XRP, but if it breaks below, that means XRP beats Bitcoin. And I think you would find some very major resistance around here, which would be about XRP doing a 3x versus Bitcoin in that case. That chart is not what I thought it was going to look like. I thought it was going to be much more, in this case, upsloped, but it's really a range. More of a range. I'm surprised by that because I haven't really looked at that chart in a long time. Although I try not to look at XRP stuff, and anytime I really pull it up is eventually after the mounds of people ask me for it, I'll pull it up. But I always just look at XRP, don't really compare it with much. Home on the range. It's right in the middle of the range, like dead center. So right now it's at an inflection point. Really, not that, I don't really care for XRP, but when you hit that range, that mid-range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 time, the more times you hit it, the more likely you are to break. So it could bounce, but I think it's getting ready at some point here. Not necessarily here, but maybe the next one, maybe here, to break. And when it breaks, I'd see that this right here being the first level. See, it was support there, resistance, resistance, minor resistance, support, support. Yeah, which would put us at about 24, which would be about a 30-ish percent, 30, 40, 35% increase from here. For XRP versus Bitcoin. And then down here, that'd be our next one, which would be almost triple versus Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin stayed at 120, that'd put XRP at like $10. I don't see that really happening, but that kind of leads me to, if Bitcoin goes to 250, then that would put XRP at like 15 to 20, which is what I've been saying for 3 years, and I don't like XRP. But it did get pretty oversold. I don't know. It's just hard to tell. Hard to tell. Patience is a virtue, my friends. How do I buy BNB meme coins before they launch? I have no idea. I don't know where BNB launches meme coins. I'm glad I don't hear about ADA anymore. Oh, there's plenty of people that talk about ADA. And Cardano and XRP are the same engine. It's just that they have a very cult community that's ride or die, and they have enough people. XRP's been around for a dozen years or so. Cardano's been around for about 8 or 9, and they've just built very cult ride or die people. Even though there's no metrics that support the valuations even remotely close. And that's saying something, because crypto's kind of like that anyways. Control PooCoin and buy them the second they are created, before the creator can, and create an LP and Uniswap before them. Buy them the second they are created, before they launch. Well, I mean, I don't know. Can you buy meme coins before they're launched? On Solana, you can't really, because unless you make your own meme coin through another route other than pump or bonk. Yeah. Home on the range. Apparently, PayPal is to let US businesses accept Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, and Sol to reduce cross-border costs. Interesting. Billionaire investor Ray Dalio recommends 15% allocation in long-term assets like Bitcoin and gold. Ray Dalio was against Bitcoin not long ago at all. 1 year active supply for Bitcoin and ETH hits 37% after dormant whale moves 9 billion in Bitcoin. That was an hour ago. Let's check out more events. Maybe not. Interesting. I'm with you, Cuter, and I probably will end up charging for it. But I'm giving people a chance. Giving it away for free. For now. But they won't even use it. I've just done this before. I've given away free shit. I hate giving away free shit because people don't use it. But if I sell them the same thing and they pay for it, almost every single one of them really uses it and pays attention and puts in effort. And the more they pay, the more effort they give. It's how we work. Remember that next time you think, any of you, that you think you want shit for free. You got to pay for stuff if you actually want to get value out of it. But, prove me wrong, you won't, but prove me wrong. Like, the example that comes to my mind was I put together this trading masterclass. It's like a 2-hour long class really running through the basics and fundamentals of everything. And everybody was like, oh my God, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. So I spent like 3 months recording, editing, and finally I made this like really, really good like 2-hour masterclass. And I gave it away for free. Hundreds of people, maybe 1,000, took it for free. And time went by and no one said anything to me about it. Like no one said it's, oh, thank you, or it's good, or it's shit. No one said anything. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I went and looked at the metrics. And I found that of the people, hundreds of people, I don't remember how many exactly, went and claimed it. Less than 3% of them even opened the email that had it in it. And less than 1% even went and watched the goddamn video. And actually, even if people went to the video, this 2-hour-long video, the average watch time was like 8 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? So that means like even if people go to the video, which almost none of them did, even though they claimed it, almost none opened the email, and even far less even went to the video. Ever. This was weeks later. Like, what the fuck? They all said they wanted it. I spent 3 months making this thing. It's fantastic. Why is no one watching it? And then I thought, I was out for a walk one day, and I was thinking about this. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here. And then a thought hit me. And you want to know what it said? It said, when people pay, they pay attention. I thought that is as true as anything gets. So the same masterclass, I started charging for it. I remember what it was, maybe $30. I don't remember. It wasn't much. It wasn't more than 50. I started charging for it. And people went and bought it. The thing I was giving away for free, people went and bought. But what really stood home for me and why I tell this story is because 99% of the people that bought it opened the email, and 98% went and watched the video. And the average watch time, the video was 2 hours long. Before it was 8 minutes. When people got it for free, the average watch time on a 2-hour-long video, the average watch time was over 2 hours, meaning most people watched it more than once. So as much as people want free things and they bitch about how you're selling a course or you're selling a training and a fucking scam, I'm like, bro, you got to go pay for something if you actually want to get any value, because human behavior, we don't value free shit, even if it's valuable. But when we pay for shit, even if it's garbage, we value it. And we put in more attention, we put in more effort, we get more out of it. Prove me wrong. You won't. Very rarely will someone prove me wrong. And I'll tell you what, if someone's gonna go use this for free, they're the rare person that would actually pay a fuckload of money to learn it because they understand the value of it. I've done it multiple times. Every time I give something away for free, it's exactly what happens. But prove me wrong. Money won is sweeter than money earned. Oh, I disagree massively. I massively disagree. That is absolutely not true. There are actual human behavior studies on this, right? Look, you've heard the horror stories of lottery winners. They lose it. They blow it. They go down vice holes and their life's worse off very commonly than before they had the money. And then they go broke. Because when you get money without a sense of earning it, you tend to squander it and blow it and use it towards vices. But when you earn it, you value the money, you appreciate the money, and you take care of the money. Oh, you got that from Dodgeball? Well, there you go. Parody joke movie. So obviously, it's said in a stupid, joking way. But it's still a really good point to bring up, that money earned is much more valued and much better than money won. Because there are studies for over decades of people that, like, say, inherit money or win money versus people that, like, earn the money, like make their own business, self-made people, stuff like that. And multiple standard deviations beyond the norm People that win money or inherit money, etc., their life is objectively worse for it, and they typically end up going broke. But people that earn the money, their lives are objectively better, and they end up earning more and more and more money. And being greater contributors to their community, greater contributors to benefiting the world, etc. That's truth. I know last 6 years I paid many seminars to get level, I could say, doing like professional trader. That's great, Darko. It's what it takes. You got to learn from people. It's not just like, again, you can go learn from an expert trader, but unless you pay them money, you're not going to get as much value out of it. Not because they teach you anything different, but because you're different. Yeah, that's the truth. You're going to give more of an effort. You're going to really try to get the most out of it if you have something to lose, if you have skin in the game. And the more skin you got in the game, the harder you're going to work. The more you're going to prioritize it. What's this stream about? Well, I've been on here for almost 90 minutes, and I was on TikTok streaming live before this. But now I guess we've turned into like a mindset conversation. We were talking about crypto and crypto. But now we moved into a mindset conversation, which I love getting into. Let me know in the chat. Do you like mindset conversations or not? What about NBA player though? Well, you'll watch sports people too blow their money. That's true. They earned it. But they earned it, yeah. But a lot of them take it for granted because it's also like a cultural thing, so that's another thing to watch out for. There are many, many sports players that are still well off today and have done better, right? But there's a good number that have lost their ass. And that's a cultural thing. That's still a mindset thing because they come from poor cultures, and so they have no idea how to handle having money. And they want to give it away, and they want to blow it, and they want fucking status, big flashy stupid chains and cars. And that's the whole reason they wanted the money in the first place, was for the status, to have the things. But that's not an appreciation of the money. That's a disappreciation. That's a disrespect of the money. Because money wants to attract more money. And if you're going to give it away, it's going to go somewhere else that it's more appreciated. You go buy a Lambo, you're not appreciating money. You're disrespecting it. Because you just put your money somewhere into a weaker asset that is going to depreciate. Wealthy people put their money places that appreciate. Like, I could buy nice clothes. Well, people say nice clothes, right? But I'm wearing like an Old Navy fucking button-up. Like I have like cheap Banana Republic, like factory shorts on, and like a pair of sandals that someone gave me. I just have no value on buying clothes. I have no value on buying cars. I have no value on fancy things, unless those fancy things appreciate in value. Mindset's the root of everything, says Plastic. It is. Because even if you get money, like you're gonna blow it. But if you get money and you know how to keep money and grow money, then you're set. I don't, because a lot of people won't actually take any action on the stuff talked about. Been able every day make at least 0.5% for sure, and need mindset for that. So you're talking about trading. That's good. As a matter of fact, when I teach trading, that's what I tell people. It's not because one of the biggest mistakes people make is they try to hit home runs all the time. And really, it's like, no, just take a profit, take a profit, take a profit. My goal when I'm in a trade is to completely eliminate risk as soon as possible. Like if it goes up a little bit, I'm taking my money out, maybe a little profit with it, and then see where it goes. And you let that shit stack. And when it goes down, I cut that shit and I just wait for another opportunity. Because in that way, I can lose more often than I win and still be profitable. Maintenance on a BMW is probably expensive. I couldn't imagine what a Lambo or Ferrari cost. Yeah. After Dr. Dispenza, I now include 7 Hermetic principles. You familiar with those? I am not, but I definitely know Dr. Joe Dispenza. Getting a gold ring, you know, he used to be a chiropractor not too far from here, actually. And I used to practice as a chiropractor also, actually, although we've never met. What's your thoughts on that? The same way with flashy stuff, but a gold ring would hold its value? No, a gold ring wouldn't hold its value unless, you know, you melted down the gold and made the ring yourself. Because when you go buy a gold ring, you're paying for the value, the gold itself, plus the labor, plus the markup. So that's not going to hold its value, no. But if you want to go buy an ounce of gold from a gold dealer, you're gonna pay a little premium, but that's solid. For me, you guys want to know? You want to know one of my favorite things outside of crypto? To buy as a store, to invest in as a store of value, a store of appreciating value, actually. Take some guesses. It's unusual. It's unusual. But it's a very good performing class if you know what you're looking at. Meaner says silver. I wouldn't say silver is a very good store of value, but good guess. It's done well. It's at an all-time high, I believe. Pokemon, not bad. Not bad. No, I mean, some Pokemon cards, depending on when you get them, like say the first edition PSA 10 Holo Charizard, which I'm not even a Pokemon guy, but I know that card because that's the one. But there's more in there, yeah, absolutely. And maybe some sports cards, but I find them to be a little too volatile for me. But long-term wise, yeah, they will just go up over time, for sure. Those are good. Those are solid. Those are good. I'd be shocked if any of you guessed it. I like to buy that I really appreciate them. Like if I get a Pokemon card, I'm not going to appreciate it that much. It would really just be a pure like asset to appreciate over time, which is cool. And I would like it. It's cool. But I really like to buy Transformers. I wish that was the case. Because Transformers were my jam as a kid. Like I have Generation 1 Transformers, but they do not appreciate very well at all. Unless they're in the box, but even then, it's been very underwhelming for me to see what Transformers are worth from Generation 1. But some toys, sure. You're close though. Close-ish. I really like to buy vintage band and culture t-shirts. Hulkster died last week. Well, you know what? I went on eBay and I found a vintage 1980s WWF in great condition Hulkamania shirt. This shirt's from the 80s, has a WWF. It's got a certain tag on it called Screen Stars. And it was Hulkamania. Like, that's a rare fucking shirt. And that is wrestling culture. They don't make those anymore. You can't make those anymore. Those were of a time period. Those were his peak. I'm going to fucking buy one of those. I thought it was very underpriced. I got it for $45. But drop your age in the comments. Drop your age in the comments. That Hulkamania t-shirt, like, it's going to appreciate over time, and I'm going to really enjoy having it. I'm not going to wear it. I'm going to really appreciate having it. And I'd say the main place to kind of buy them is eBay. That's the easiest place to get them. Let me show you. Are any of you 68, 24, 48? Now, I usually do this on my phone. Let me find something here real quick. Hold on, let me, like, look at this. Like, any Nirvana fans in here? You know, you remember Nirvana in the 90s, right? This is a vintage Nirvana shirt from the 90s with a giant tag. That's that little black tag right there. In May, this sold for that much money. This t-shirt. This one sold for, well, someone made an offer, but thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars. You see what I'm saying? And you want to know what? Any of these shirts, yeah, you may say they're expensive. Well, guess what? In 10 years, what do you think that shirt's going to sell for? More or less than that. More. This is an appreciating asset. And it will just continue to go up over time because it's rare. They can't make more of them, so they're scarce. As a matter of fact, there's less of them every day. They're old, they're art, they're culture, periodic. Like, that shirt will only continue to go up over time. It won't, it's not super volatile. It's not gonna go for 10,000 tomorrow and 3,000 the next day. They don't sell very often. But you can think of that, just, it's art. It's art. It's cultural art is what it is. It's like a painting. And there are so many like 90s band shirts that I had in the 90s that are worth so much money, and I don't have any of them anymore. Look at Smashing Pumpkins. I don't even like Smashing Pumpkins. Look at that, back in May, that one sold for $1,800. This one, $1,500, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, $777, $750, right? These shirts were 20 bucks, brand new in the 90s. These are gonna continue to go up over time. Let's go, how about Green Day? Just thinking of 90s stuff. $800 for the Dookie album cover shirt. $800, $650, $530, $500. Check this out. Black hole sun, won't you come? It's Dinosaur Jr., so that's not even it. Look at this Soundgarden shirt, $2,000. $2,000. Butthole Surfers, I guess. Soundgarden, $2,000. $2,000. Almost $2,000. $1,700. I had this shirt. I had this shirt in the 90s. I wore it to school, to junior high. $1,600. I love having that stuff too. It's so, I appreciate it so much. I enjoy it. More than some painting, this is a painting. Like people, and I'll probably do this too, they put them in like shadow boxes to display them as art, because they are art. They're cultural art. But you gotta be careful. You gotta know what you're looking at. The biggest thing you're gonna look at, you wanna know my favorite? I'm gonna show you my favorite. This is the one I really want, but I just haven't bit the bullet to buy it. This is the one I really want. Let me find it. I really want this. Original Pulp Fiction shirt, right? So movies too. Pulp Fiction, look at that. Pulp Fiction promo shirt, love it. I want that so bad, so bad. I think the cheapest one for sale right now is like $2,500. I'm not paying that. And I just let them sit and appreciate them and enjoy them. And they just go up over time. very good stores of value, and they're actually appreciative stores of value. Dinosaur Jr. I don't know Dinosaur Jr. too much. Wonder if any Pulp Fiction movie tickets would bring anything. Well, you can look. Maybe. Could. I mean, look it up. Maybe eBay has that. You know, I guess that's the only one I see that sold. It was some AMC one, sold for $15 back in May. Oh, what is this? Oh, it's a Japanese movie ticket stub from '94, verified by PSA and graded. So yeah, that's a thing, I guess. But yeah, that type of stuff, I love that type of stuff. It's so enjoyable for me. So, and I would, very rarely do I wear one. Very rarely. Very, very rarely. Because I don't want to damage it. I don't even want to put it in the wash. Love them. Those things appreciate very well. They do more than get your money back. They beat inflation. You'd be surprised. Like say those Nirvana shirts, like 10 years ago, you could have got them for like $100. And now they're going for $5,000. And they're going to keep going up. In a few years, they'll be 10 grand, then 15, then 20, and then 30, and then 50. And you'll see a Nirvana shirt within a couple decades go for 100 grand. And they're so, to me, just so enjoyable to like have and appreciate and look at. Like I said about that vintage 80s Hulkamania shirt, I'll show it to you. This one went for $200, but it's got a different tag. I don't have that tag. I have a Screen Stars tag. But that was the one. This is the one I bought right here. It has a Screen Stars tag. It's the, like the shirt tag. This one just went for about $100. I bought it for 45. That one went for 75. Same one. I think these will just go up over time. So I decided to buy one because I couldn't believe they're only 45 bucks. The one I found anyways, it was underpriced. And since then they've been selling off the fucking, they've just been selling off the rack, if you would call it that, I guess. My mom lived to trash stuff. To trash stuff? What do you mean? Like she was like a thrifter? I like me some thrifting too. Not because I wear any of it, but because I like to find undervalued stuff. Like it's a game. Like years ago, I came across a guy named Dr. John DeMartini. Actually, probably like 15 years ago. Came across a guy named Dr. John DeMartini. And he's calls himself a human behavior specialist. And he's been traveling the world for like 5 decades, giving a speech literally about every single day. He does about 400 speeches a year. That's more than one a day. And all he does, he talks about human behavior and his observations, and he constantly researches and constantly observes and constantly makes new papers and books and everything like that. And he said something to me that I'll just never forget. And like he said it a bunch of times, but one day it finally clicked. He goes, I do a seminar pretty well every weekend. A seminar, not just a speech, a whole seminar. And he goes, and at the beginning of every seminar, I walk out on stage and I say hi, but then I go, okay, how many people in here want to be financially free? Everyone raises their hand. And the tickets to these things are like a couple $1,000 to go to the seminar, so these people aren't broke. Everyone raised their hand. And he goes, okay, how many of you are financially free? A lot of hands go down. And he says, well, let me be clear on what financially free is. Financially free, I mean that your passive income pays for your monthly passive income, pays for your monthly expenses, so you don't have to work if you don't want to. More hands go down. And very few hands are up, about 1% to 2% maybe. And then what he does, and he's been doing for years, is he talks with them. and he figures out, what is it? Why are these people financially free? What is it? And he's also, I got to give you a little bit more realm on him, is over the decades, he believes strongly, his whole thesis, and I'm for it, I'm with it, it makes all the sense, is that people live their lives by a hierarchy of values or a hierarchy of priorities. And he says, whatever it is about these people that are financially free, they have priorities or values at the top of their hierarchy that make them financially free. So he wanted to figure out, what are those values and priorities? And he also realized that people mostly live their lives by their top 3 values. Top 3 values. If you're a parent and you value your kids, you're always going to have time, money, attention, and energy for your kids, right? If your number 1 value is business, you're always going to have time, energy, attention, money for your business. But he says, number 1 is very dominant, but people live 99.9% of their life by their top 3 values. And he said, so I needed to identify, what is it in these financially free people, what is it in their top 3 values that makes them financially free? And he said, in 100% of the cases, he found that these financially free people, in 100% of the cases, over decades of study, 100% of them, in their top 3 values, had this same value. And if it was in the 1 spot, they were really rich. If it was in the 2nd spot, they were rich. 3rd spot, they were still at least free and or somewhat rich. But all of them had that value in their top 3. Any guesses at what that value is? Any guesses? I don't know if you guys even want to know. I could just end the stream right here. I really got to take a leak. Food. They became financially free because they have a high priority on food? No. Those are necessities. That's not, a morbidly obese person, they have extremely high value on food. So, it is a value. And for morbidly obese people, food and eating might be their top value. That's why they're so goddamn big. That would make sense. But rich, no. Discipline, nope. God, nope. Control of mind, nope. Discipline, nope. I'm low on battery. Like the food guests, right? If someone's morbidly obese, odds are in their top 3 values, food, eating is extremely high in their values. Massive priority for them. Discipline is not a priority. That's like a thing. God, if you're a preacher or someone that lives that life very devoutly and very disciplined about it every day, because the thing is when something is in your top values like that, you're not disciplined about it. It's just your natural state of being. It's what you want to do. There's no discipline or effort put forth. It's just natural, like a kid playing a video game. Would you look at a kid playing a video game for 12 hours a day? Would you say, damn, that kid's really disciplined to playing this video game. Good for him. Or would you say, that kid's playing. He's playing. That's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do. He's disciplined, but it's not effort. He just wants to do it. So when something's in your high values like that, you just want to do it. You just enjoy doing it. It's what you think about. It's not like an effort, like a discipline. Value of time, recreation, family. Well, if you're a really good father or mother and you tend to spend a lot of time with your family and you plan a lot of family trips and stuff like that, then that's the way your life is going to look. And that's going to clearly show through your actions that family is a very, very high priority, a top 3 value. It's going to show in your life. And if you're financially free, in your top 3 values is going to be a priority. And you're going to say, making money. Well, yeah, kind of. I'll just give it to you. Here's what it is. And it's easy to miss it. Don't miss it. What he's found over decades of study is that all financially free people he's ever met, meaning that their passive income pays for their monthly passive income pays for their monthly expenses at a minimum. But many of them are way beyond that. This is the value he found, the priority. Frugality? No, I wouldn't really say so. He said this: they have an extremely high value or priority on turning money into more money. I'm gonna say that again, because it's so simple, you may ignore it. And that would be mistake colossus to ignore that. That's too simple. Call it simple or ignore it at your own fucking peril. They have an extremely high priority on turning money into more money. And I had to hear him say that so many times over a number of years before it finally clicked. Because almost every single person you're ever going to meet does not have that value, no matter what they think, because it's their behavior that tells the truth, right? Talk is cheap. Action is the truth. What people do is where they really live, who they really are. What they say isn't shit. What you say isn't shit. What you do is the truth. You. Yes, you. Watch what you do. It is not what you think you do. It is not what you say you do. What you do is what you do, and the people around you can see it whether you can or not. What do I mean by turning money into more money? They have a very low value on buying things for status or flashiness or consumerism. They have no value on that. But when they get money, they want to put as much of it as they can, possibly, as they can. Not, well, I got to get my morning Starbucks, and I got to get this, and I got to eat out, and I got to go to this show, and I got to do that. They're like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I want to take every dollar I can possibly squeeze out and put it somewhere where it can grow. That is the secret to being financially free. Having that fucking priority. And it's not a discipline. It's not an effort. It's what you naturally want to do. My hobbies, when I say I kind of like thrifting, it's because I'm on the hunt for things like that, like those vintage t-shirts. Even my hobbies make money. I didn't used to be like that. I used to look at things and blow money. I hate buying things. I'll wear the same shirt till my fucking nipples start showing. And I have to get a new shirt. Although I got more shirts than I'm ever gonna wear. A bunch of junk shirts I've had forever. Junk shorts, junk shoes, junk socks. Gotta get new underwear every so often. Don't drive flashy cars. They're just functional to me. But my money goes into Bitcoin. Goes into assets that can appreciate. Goes into vintage t-shirts. Goes into undervalued sports cards sometimes. Those things are fucking volatile though. And it's because I learned that from John. I changed once I finally fucking heard what he was saying. Family first, that's fine. I have a high value on family. In actuality, me growing wealth as much as I can is for my family. Turning money into more money, family. Those dominate my life. Even me sitting here with you right now, well, this is really kind of an expression for me to get this shit out because they don't ever want to hear about it. But somehow, some way, this is lining up with me turning money into more money and my family. Somehow. Maybe I don't know how yet. The girl asked me once at work, is it cold in here? Anyone received their email yet? Still haven't received? Be sure to check your spam and junk inbox. And it can take up to an hour. I don't know why. For some people it can. Be sure to check your spam and junk box, and you could go resubscribe again since it's free. It's possible you had a typo in your email. It's possible. Did you guys find that valuable? Me sharing that with you? Like, I don't know. There's only a number of things that I've really learned in my life that I feel are extremely valuable, and that is way at the top. Learning that people live their lives by a hierarchy of values, and your top 3 values are really going to dictate basically your entire life and its outcomes. And most people from the day they're born are taught to be consumers and impress the Joneses and keep up with the Joneses and all that stuff. And getting flashy things that makes them feel rich, but is ironically the complete opposite of rich. Lambos and Ferraris. That makes you poor, not rich. Buying a vintage Nirvana t-shirt, that makes you rich. Not today, but the habit of doing that stuff, the being of the person that does that stuff is a high priority, that enjoys it, that prioritizes it, not because it's effort, but because it's effortless. It's inevitable that you become free, no matter where you started from. Do you play lottery? No. You know, if the lottery gets to $1 billion, I might go buy a couple tickets for fun. Cheap entertainment. But no, I don't play lotteries. Not at all. It's literally a game rigged against you. The probabilities are never in your favor. I'm not going to play a game like that. Not going to do it. Nope. Look, where probabilities are in my favor as close to 100% as possible. Bitcoin, 100%. It's just going to appreciate over time. Not in a straight line, but it will go up over time at a nice rate. The right vintage t-shirts, they will just go up over time. Both of them are scarce. Both of them are in ever increasing demand. Both of them are actually, well, vintage t-shirts, there's less of them every day because people lose them, ruin them, throw them away, not realizing what they have every day. So I like those things, and I just like them as art. When you make a lot of money this year, how will you diversify it? Stocks, real estate, crypto? Well, if I sell crypto, I'm not going to put it back into crypto in the short term. I'll put it into stablecoin and go get double-digit yield on it. If you want to learn how I do that, go to dailycryptobull.com. If you want to stay ignorant and unskilled, like 98% of people in crypto, then don't go get it. But if you want to learn how 2% of people in crypto actually know how to use DeFi, how I get double-digit returns, APR, on stablecoin, as well as ETH, Bitcoin, and Solana, go get the free guide. I guarantee I'm going to be charging for it soon, because when I give stuff away for free, people don't even read it. They get it, they go claim it, but they don't even actually ever make the time to read it, let alone the time to use it. But when they pay for it, they almost read it immediately, and they almost use it immediately. Same stuff. What's different? They paid for something. So I'll probably have to charge for it because almost none of you are going to use it. I'll have to pay for it so that you'll actually use it. Real estate's not a bad idea, but I don't. It'd have to be the right real estate deal. It'd probably be a short-term rental. It'd probably be unique and in high demand and worthy of high demand and should have it to command a premium. But other than that, I'm not interested in like buying some single family home to rent it out for 5-6% yield a year plus slight appreciation minus expenses, but include the appreciation for tax benefits. Toilets and tenants. Get a property management company. Yeah, you should, but then it eats into your yield because they take about 20%. Call me crazy, but yield-bearing cash, because I know how to use DeFi, yield-bearing stablecoin, Bitcoin, vintage t-shirts. But mostly when I sell, I stay in cash and I wait for a big fat pitch that's just an incredible value that I can't miss on. before I take out of my yield-bearing stablecoin position to deploy it into a risk asset that can go down. But I'm still in a risky mode because of part of the cycle that we seem to be in. But I still have a good amount of cash on the sidelines. I deployed some last night, too early. I got the best of myself. It'll be okay. I was a little too early on buying Fartcoin last night. The market looked to me like there was a good chance it was going to go, and I think it's gonna, but can't get them all right. Definitely not. And oh well, it's down a day. I didn't buy it to be in it a day. What else we got here? Ooh, MLG seeing another spike. That's nice. I have to go monitor that. What did it go up to? Went up to 25? Whew. Whew. Shit. Wonder if they're live right now. I don't know. I better go. I really got to take a leak. If you don't know how to use DeFi and you want to stop being an ignorant schmuck on the sidelines, missing out on an opportunity that you'll never have again to be this early to something, go over there. I have a free guide showing you how I get double-digit yield on stablecoin, Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. At the moment, I'm getting about 20% yield on my ETH, Bitcoin, and Solana, meaning that my ETH, Bitcoin, and Solana are passively turning into more ETH, Bitcoin, and Solana every day. And my stablecoin are passively turning into more stablecoin every day. If you won't go get that free guide, you don't want to win as much as you think you do, because you ain't willing to do shit to win. That's truth. Digest it, spit it out, whatever you want, but it's truth. All right, y'all. I'm out. I gotta go. I gotta take a whiz like crazy.